Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling a topic that, I'll be honest, usually has the magnetic appeal of a tax audit. We're talking about data governance.
Oh, come on. You don't love spending 4 hours in a windowless room debating the exact definition of an active user.
I would rather watch paint dry.
Yeah.
And I think most of our listeners would too. The moment you say governance, people just hear compliance.
They hear red tape.
Yeah, exactly. They hear, stop doing your actual job and go fill out this form.
That's the reputation, for sure. It's seen as the Department of No. But here's the thing. We aren't here to talk about compliance today. We're here to talk about why your company's expensive, shiny data strategy is probably failing.
That is a bold start.
Well, it's the reality. Look, most organizations we see are suffering from this very specific illusion. Let's call it the illusion of competence. They've bought the modern data stack. They have Snowflake, they have DDT, they have Looker or Tableau. They've hired the data engineers.
So they have the stuff.
They have all the stuff. So they just assume they're doing data. But then you walk into a board meeting or a QBR, and what happens?
Chaos.
Absolute chaos. You have 3 VPs showing 3 different numbers for the exact same metric. The CEO gets frustrated, the whole meeting gets derailed, and instead of making a strategy decision, you spend the next hour arguing about whose spreadsheet is right.
I have been in that meeting. It's the war room scenario.
Yeah.
And usually the conclusion is something like, the dashboard is broken.
Right. Fix the tool. But the tool isn't broken. I mean, the tool is doing exactly what it was told to do. The problem is you're cooking without a recipe.
Okay, let's unpack that analogy because that's really the core theme of this deep dive. Cooking without a recipe.
Think about it this way. Your data team is the kitchen staff. Your software, your warehouses, your BI tools, those are just the appliances. You have a $10,000 oven. You have the sharpest knives. But if you have 5 chefs in that kitchen, and one thinks you're making a chocolate cake while another one thinks you're making a lasagna.
You are going to end up with a very disgusting dinner.
Exactly. And that is what is happening in businesses every single day. Governance isn't about policing the chefs. It's just about agreeing on the recipe before you turn on the oven.
So our mission today is to give you, the listener, a way to sell this idea to the people who just hate the word governance. We want to move from boring paperwork to, I don't know, the secret ingredient for speed.
Speed and sanity. Definitely sanity.
Let's look at the everyday problem provided in the notes. It's the classic customer churn debacle.
Ah, the churn wars. A classic.
Set the scene for us.
Okay, simple prompt. The CEO asks, what was our churn rate last quarter? 3 departments go off to answer this. Marketing, sales, and finance.
And they all come back with different answers. But, and here's where I want to push on this. These aren't stupid people. They're all looking at the same company. How do they get it so wrong?
Because they're looking at the world through their own incentives. Let's just take marketing. What's their job?
Engagement. Activity.
Right. So to them, a customer who hasn't opened an email or logged into the app in 90 days, they're basically dead.
They're churned.
They are churned. So marketing reports a churn rate of, say, 8%. And their takeaway is, high churn, we need a re-engagement campaign.
Makes total sense. But then sales walks in.
Sales doesn't care about email opens. They couldn't care less. Sales cares about the contract. Is the contract still valid? Is the ink dry? If the client signed a 1-year deal 6 months ago, they are an active customer.
Even if that customer hasn't logged in once.
Even if they forgot their password and blocked the entire domain. To sales, that churn rate is 0%. We're doing great, boss.
So marketing says 8%, sales says 0%. And then the CFO walks in, probably looking stressed.
Always. So finance looks at the ledger, they don't care about logins, and they often don't trust the CRM status because, salespeople are notoriously bad at updating it.
Right.
Finance looks at the cash. Did the payment clear? Did they ask for a refund?
So if a customer signed a contract, which sales says is active, but their credit card failed 3 times.
Finance says they're churned. Exactly. So now you have 3 numbers on the screen, and the CEO asks the big question. Who is right?
And usually, this is where the finger pointing starts. Well, marketing's data is soft, or sales is just trying to hit their commission accelerator.
It becomes political, instantly. But the punchline here, the really important part, is this. No one is wrong.
They're all right.
They are all factually correct based on their specific departmental needs. Marketing needs to track engagement. Finance has to track revenue. The failure isn't in the math, it's a failure of alignment. They're all cooking different dishes, but calling it the same thing.
And this is where the whole modern data stack fails you. You can have the fastest cloud warehouse in the world, but if you feed it 3 contradicting definitions, it's just going to process that contradiction at lightning speed.
Garbage in, garbage out, but faster. Much faster.
So how do we fix this without forming another committee? Because I feel like the standard corporate response to the churn war is to create a data governance steering committee that meets every Friday at 4 p.m.
And everyone conveniently has a conflict.
Everyone skips it.
Yes.
Please, whatever you do, do not start with the steering committee. If you want to actually solve this, you need a tactile operational approach. We call it writing the recipe. And it has 3 basic steps.
Okay, step 1.
Step 1 is identify the dish.
This sounds simple, but I'm guessing it's not.
It's the hardest part, actually. You have to pick one metric, just one. Don't try to boil the ocean. Don't try to govern the entire data warehouse. You will fail.
So you walk into that war room and you say, okay, everyone, we are just going to fix churn. Nothing else.
Exactly. You triage. You say, this is the metric causing the most pain right now. We are going to solve this one thing.
Okay, so we've picked churn. Step 2.
Step 2, agree on the ingredients. This is where the real work happens, and it's not a technical problem, it's a people problem. You have to get the heads of marketing, sales, and finance in a room without the CEO, and you have to hash it out.
This is the negotiation.
It is. You have to define the term. If we are going to report company churn to the board, whose definition wins?
I can tell you right now, marketing is going to be really mad if you tell them they can't track 90-day inactivity anymore.
And this is a really crucial distinction. You aren't telling them they can't track it, you're just telling them they can't call it churn.
Ah, so it's a branding exercise almost.
It's a semantic layer exercise, really. You say, okay, marketing, you keep your metric, that's fine, but from now on we're calling it engagement drop-off. Sales, you can keep yours, but it's contract lapse. Finance, your definition, the one about lost revenue, that is what we are officially calling company churn.
Okay, so we have the definition, but you said ingredients is more than just the word. It's the logic, too.
Oh, the logic is where the bodies are buried.
Give me an example.
Okay, calculation logic.
All right.
Let's say we all agree churn is contract canceled. Great. What about the grace period?
The what?
You know, a customer cancels on the 30th, but your terms of service give them a 7-day grace period to reactivate. On the 2nd of the next month, are they churned?
I mean, technically, yes.
Yeah.
But also, maybe no.
Exactly. If the data engineer writes the code to say status equals canceled, they show up as churned. If the sales VP says, no, wait, they might come back, they aren't. You have to document that edge case.
And there are probably a dozen of those. Like, what about trial users? What about internal test accounts?
The test account is my absolute favorite. I once saw a company completely panic over a massive spike in usage, only to realize the QA team was load testing the production server.
Oh, no.
You have to filter those out. That's part of the recipe.
So you literally have to write down churn equals revenue lost minus trial users minus test accounts, and we need to account for grace periods.
And you have to agree on the source of truth.
The timestamp issue.
It's always the timestamp. If your database is in UTC, London time, but your finance team is in New York, you have a 5-hour window at the end of every month where the data just doesn't match.
Which leads to those infuriating emails. Why is the dashboard off by $500?
And you waste 3 days investigating it. So part of the recipe is just deciding. We use the finance system of record, converted to EST. Done. No more arguments.
Okay, so we have battled through the negotiation. We have the definition, the logic, the source, the edge cases. Step 3.
Step 3 is publish the recipe. Make it official.
Now, does this just mean writing it in a Word doc and emailing it to everyone? Because, let's be honest, nobody reads those emails.
No, please do not just email it. It needs to live where the work actually happens. Ideally, this is something like a data catalog or a data glossary.
Okay, for the non-technical listener, what's the difference between a data dictionary and a glossary? Because I hear those terms used interchangeably all the time.
That's a great question. A data dictionary is for the engineers. It says table A, column B is an integer. A business glossary is for the humans. It says churn rate equals this specific calculation, and it's owned by the CFO.
So we need the glossary.
You need the glossary. And ideally, modern BI tools let you embed this kind of thing, so when you hover your mouse over the word churn in the dashboard, a little tooltip pops up with the actual recipe.
That is the dream. Self-service clarity.
But there is one more critical part of step 3. You need a head chef.
A data owner.
Yes, someone has to be accountable. If the metric breaks or if someone wants to change the definition next year, who makes the call.
I feel like this is the role that nobody wants.
Nobody wants it. It feels like being a hall monitor. Hey, you didn't tag that correctly. It's a thankless job.
So how do you get someone to actually take ownership?
You have to tie it to authority. Even the data owner for revenue isn't a chore, it's a power move. It means you are the one who controls how the company measures success. You make the CFO the owner of the churn metric. Now, if marketing wants to change it, they have to go ask the CFO.
That shifts the dynamic completely.
Completely. It stops being an IT ticket and starts being a business strategy decision.
So we have our recipe, we have our head chef, we've operationalized it. Now, the big question, how do we sell this? Because we started this deep dive saying governance is a dirty word. If I go to my CEO and say, I want to implement a business glossary and define calculation logic, their eyes are going to glaze over.
Stick a fork in them, they're done.
Yeah.
No, you absolutely cannot sell the process. You have to sell the outcome.
So what's the pitch?
You pitch the end of the war room.
I like that.
You go to a leadership team and you say, we spend 20% of every executive meeting arguing about whose numbers are right. I want to give you that time back.
So you're selling velocity.
You're selling decision-making speed. You say, we need one agreed recipe so we all cook the same dish. If we do this, when you ask for churn, you get one answer, instantly. And we can spend the meeting talking about how to fix it, not how to measure it.
It's about confidence, isn't it?
It is. Think about the board of directors. If they ask a simple question and get 3 different answers, what do they think about the management team?
They think they're amateurs, that they don't have a handle on the business.
They lose confidence. But if the answer is crisp, unified, and backed by a clear lineage, that projects control. That is what you are selling. You're saying, I am going to make you look like you are in total control of this business.
That is a much better pitch than, I need you to approve a budget for a data catalog tool.
Much, much better. And frankly, this connects directly to the bottom line. Better data means you stop wasting money on campaigns targeting people who have already churned. It means you stop paying commissions on deals that didn't actually close. This is real money.
I do want to touch on the friction one last time, though. Because even with a good pitch, changing definitions is hard. People get attached to their numbers.
Yep.
If you change the definition of a lead and suddenly marketing's numbers drop by 20%, they are going to freak out.
Oh, they will. And that's why this is really a change management project, not a data project.
Yeah.
You have to manage the narrative. You have to say, the numbers aren't going down because you're doing a worse job. The numbers are changing because we're cleaning the lens.
We're cleaning the lens. I like that.
You have to baseline it. You show them, yes, your total leads dropped 20%, but the conversion rate of the remaining leads went up 20% because we stripped out all the junk. You have to show them the value of the accuracy.
Okay, so let's bring it all back to that cooking analogy.
We started with a kitchen full of expensive appliances, the whole modern data stack,
Yeah.
but total chaos because everyone was cooking something different.
We moved to writing the recipe, picking one dish, which is the priority, agreeing on the ingredients, the definitions and logic, and then publishing the cookbook, which is the glossary.
And appointing a head chef so the kitchen doesn't devolve into anarchy again next week.
And finally, we sold it not as health and safety compliance, but as getting dinner on the table faster and better.
Consistency at scale, that's the whole goal.
It seems so obvious when you say it like that, but it really is the missing piece in so many companies. We're so obsessed with the how, the AI, the machine learning, the predictive analytics, that we completely forgot the what.
We forgot to agree on what we are building. And you just can't automate what you don't understand. If you try to put AI on top of ungoverned data, you are just going to hallucinate at scale.
That is a genuinely terrifying thought. AI hallucinations powered by bad data definitions.
It's the next big crisis, guaranteed.
So for the listener who is now fired up, or maybe just a little terrified, and wants to go fix this, what's the one thing they should do tomorrow morning?
Don't write a manifesto, don't go buy a tool, just find the burnt dish.
The burnt dish.
Find the one metric in your company that everyone hates, the one that causes all the arguments, the one that makes the CEO roll their eyes every time it comes up.
So maybe it's gross margin. Maybe it's active users.
Whatever it is, just fix that one thing. Get the 3 VPs in a room, lock the door, and don't let them out until they agree on the recipe for that one dish.
Yeah, once you fix that one.
The sense of relief will be so palpable, they will beg you to do the rest. Success breeds success. You prove it works on one painful thing, and then you get permission to build the rest of the cookbook.
I love that. Start small, win big.
Exactly.
Well, there you have it. You don't need more software, you just need a recipe. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Happy cooking!
We'll see you next time.